Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebel from the technical team of the Tonomy ID. I'll be presenting instead of Jack because Jack is having some issues right now. All right, and welcome to Sprint demo of the Tonomy ID. Let us talk about the product vision of the Tonomy ID. So we have multiple segments, and for this, I'm going to talk about Web3. For Web3 communities who are struggling to onboard the Web3 usability and all the new technology, Tonomy ID is providing a solution for white labeling Web3 and SSI wallet. This will make the user experience easy and will hide all the technical difficulties from the user. Uh, our product will deliver a Web2 usability while still delivering all the Web3 security and the sovereign solution and privacy. We won't be exposing any key technology, cryptography, or blockchain information on our application, only the solution and the login, sign in, just like any Web2 application. The second segment is ethical industry. We are providing a solution for medium and large foundation or even open source project that has multiple apps to login into. We will reduce data security and privacy risks and improve user trust. That's what the Common ID is going to provide. It's a smart wallet providing a single sign-on. It will reduce a centralized service attack opportunities and hack consequences. Unlike Microsoft and other services that provide this, so just like Google, our product doesn't save any user data or personal information. And this will reduce cybersecurity risks and improve user trust, just like I said. So what is our sprint goal for this sprint? Our focus is allowing a user to log in into a demo website, which will show all the features we're going to build. Right, and this sprint, we focused more on bugs because we already had the feature built. We focused more on bugs and outlined flows like difficult flows, which is unexpected flows. So I'll give it over to Etna to talk about the burn-up chart.
Hi everyone, hope all of you are doing fine and welcome to our sprint review. Lorna, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
That is correct, thanks.
Thank you. Welcome to our sprint. And if you have any question, please you can ask us anytime. We are very happy to have you here today. All right. Okay. So let me just talk about the burn up chart. So if you look at the chart, we started a sprint, so we could not close much of the work. But yes, after just one day ahead, the graph is going up, which is a very good thing, and it's going up till 11. However, we can see a steady line. It is mainly because of the bugs. We have solved around 9 bugs in this sprint, so our team has done a great job. And as we can see, the graph is going up again. And from 18 onwards, most of the issues are closed. So it's going up again. So this is the burn up chart look like for the sprint. All right. So here is the cumulative flow. So cumulative flow, we are focusing on in progress, how many issues are in progress, blocked, how many items are blocked, and how many items are in review, staging, done, and product backlog. So if we look at the this graph also, which looks very good initially, yeah, one day it looks like quite flat, but again it's going up. And again, we have some spikes due to some bugs again, and not able to solve the issue initially in mid of the sprint. And again the graph is going up, which looks very good to me. So this is how the entire project graph looks like. Anyone has any question about this? All right, so I'll take it as a no. So I'll just hand it over to Rebo again. So he will be doing the demo of our product. Over to
Yes.
you.
I'll be demoing the following tasks which we worked on. These tasks were all in our sprint goal, and we have achieved that. We have fixed all these tasks. So let me share my screen and present you the features that we have worked on this sprint. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So on the right side, you can see the Tonomy ID app, and on the left side, you can see the Tonomy ID demo website. Yes. So for the first feature, we have fixed that you can, let me just recheck. Username only allowed with these characters. Any other characters would be disallowed. So if I input some weird symbols, it won't let me type it, as you can see. This was done and fixed. I'll just enter my name with some weird username and click on next. I'll generate a password from my saved password so it won't take me so long, and create a new account. We have a new error model to show on the demo app, and I'll
So
yes.
could I just jump in there with one thing on that feature? There's two reasons behind the character limitations there. One is a kind of usability thing to make sure people don't do capitals and when they don't mean to. The other is actually a security reason. By limiting the number of characters you can put in and letters and numbers, you actually make it much harder to make phishing attacks. Somebody might try and get you to log in with your username, but with an E with an like a Spanish tilde on top or something. It looks the same as your username, but it's actually not. So you can actually prevent. This is why. This is a big reason why Twitter and most these other platforms, email addresses as well, don't allow all of the Unicode character set. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Jack. As you can see, this is one of the error models we have implemented to show like what's happened wrong and give a good user experience for the user instead of just redirecting back to the login. That's what we had previously. See, it's like couldn't find recipient. I'll just close my app. Okay, so for the third task is error shown when refreshing the page on the SSO. So whenever I try to scan a code and refresh here, so after I refresh, it should show an error mode. I think that wasn't really fixed.
No, Rev, it is actually working here. what you need to do is you need to copy the URL and put in a new tab. Only then does the referrer window.referrer get changed.
All right. So it shows an error model. It says do not refresh the page, and it will go back to the previous page, which is the demo. I'll close this tab. This is gonna be hard to show, maybe. Let me just log in first to the demo app, scanning the QR code, and so even if I close the app and try to log in and reopen the app, it will redirect me to the market login page, even if the app was closed. This was task number 4. And as you can see, it is now showing the SSO page while the app was closed. And for number 5 is the menu. You can't really see the whole screen because it's on full screen. This is now the new menu we have on the demo app. That's for task 5. Do we have any feedback on the demo product?
For the menu, does that scale correct when you?
This.
Yes.
What do you mean?
This is on the app itself, or this is in the
In the demo website.
right. So if I were to access this on my phone, for example, how does this look? Does it still scale correctly and stuff?
For now, we are only focusing on desktop version.
Okay. But this does scale with different screen resolutions, I would imagine.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have a different menu on the app, as you can see, which is not the same as here.
Okay. And is this the final design, or?
For the menu on the demo website, it is the final design, but for the app, no, it's not the final design. This is just for quick navigation. We'll be changing that soon.
Right.
Any more feedback?
Well, no. I'll wait for a second. Thank you.
Can we have a bit of feedback from Lorna, as she is an externee now?
Or maybe if Lorna wants to see something else, because we've only demoed the features we did in this sprint, maybe you want to see some of the other flows that we went through quite quickly. I don't know. What would you like, Lorna?
Yeah, sure. I wasn't expecting to feedback. I'm just really super curious to see where you are, what you're doing, and actually also Christmas thing, just how you work. So, but it'd be great if you have the time and want to show some more of your other features and developments.
I don't know, Jack, what kind of features should I be showing?
Well, the main feature of the app at the moment is first to be able to sign into any Web 2 or Web 3 application. And then once you've done that, you can do a couple of different things. They're shown here on the screen, but they're not, well, they are built, but we don't have it built in the demo yet. So we can't show it live. So what you can do after you've signed into an application, this could be a mobile app or it could be an app running in a web browser, is you can sign a verifiable credential, you can sign a blockchain transaction, or you can send a peer-to-peer message. You can see that here.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a Web3 wallet, if you think of like MetaMask, but it's much easier to use, first and foremost. And then it's supporting additional features other than just signing blockchain transactions. So MetaMask allows you to sign blockchain transactions. This allows you to sign a bunch of different kinds of data, peer-to-peer messages, transactions, or verifiable credentials. You can also sign other things. You actually have access to the private key. It's in this browser. There's actually a special part of the design that makes it really user-friendly, is that we basically give a key to this app at this day. In this case, it's the demo app, and we let the key, we let the app control that key. We give that key a kind of scoping, a security scoping, so that it can only access things that the demo app can access. And if you sign into another app, it doesn't have access to the same key. So we kind of scope the security per app, but then give the app full control over the key, which means it can control the user experience. Which the big difference here is in MetaMask, every time you want to do something with a signing, you have to go back to the MetaMask ask and ask it to sign a transaction. And this is quite a poor user experience for a lot of types of flows. I don't know if that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know.
Maybe we should ask her if she used MetaMasks before.
I haven't actually, no.
No. Any smart wallets before, or just wallets?
Yeah, only crypto wallets.
Oh,
Which crypto wallets?
So Ledger and the other ones. So tried out a few, and also Blockstack. But yeah, that's more of a application oriented.
Yeah, so I think with both Blockstack and Ledger, so Ledger's a hardware signing wallet. Every time you want to sign something, you have to go back to the wallet and confirm it in the wallet, right?
Yep, that's true.
So the difference with our app is we kind of give quite a lot of flexibility. We give the key to the application itself. And when you want to sign something, the web app kind of decides the user experience. And that means it can make it much easier. The web app itself has the context. So suppose you're signing a proposal to create a new bill, right? A new policy, let's just say, as an example. In MetaMask, you would create a transaction, a piece of data, and you would send that to the MetaMask wallet. It would show you a screen saying, here are some binary bits. You're going to sign this data. We don't really know what it is, but we hope you do. And you click sign. And in Ledger, it's even more difficult because it's a hardware wallet. You don't even see what data you're signing. You just know that you're signing data at the right time. So hopefully it's the right data.
Yeah, you get the really long, can you check this link is the same? So, yeah. Okay.
Difficult.
Cool.
So in our app, because the key's in the web app itself, the web app would choose and it would show a screen. So here's the proposal, here's the title, here's the description. It shows you the unparsed binary bits. It shows you the actual proposal. And then you just click a button in the app itself. And then it happens in like a second. It's confirmed. It really feels like a Web2 application again. But you use blockchain and everything else. And then we have the additional abilities to sign. Because that private key is in the application, you have the ability to sign anything. You could sign a PDF. But we're supporting 3 out-of-box features, which is to sign a verified credential and to sign a peer-to-peer message as well.
And just out of interest, so the web application, the idea is that this would be effectively a any third-party application.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
This could be Netflix.com might decide to use it. Or it
but
could
then
be,
you give them the private key.
Well, there's a big difference between the system we're using and Ethereum. In Ethereum, an account is a private key. So they're one and the same thing. With our Tonomy accounts, you have an account and it has multiple keys inside of it. And we provision one key to each app. And we scope that key so that it can only be used for that app. So we kind of guard the security so that each app can't use the other app's keys.
Okay.
So
It
it's secure,
sounds
but we
very,
key to each
very similar to the principle with twins, but I think our user mental model is slightly different. It's maybe kind of, I see that you're really meeting the current situation really well. We're kind of thinking one step ahead of changing the way we think about accounts and logging in. I really like it.
So I think something, and this could be interesting to look at, is you could use Tonomy ID to sign into your Twins app. You'd get the private key that we manage. It's replaceable, it's recoverable, and then you can do whatever you want with that key, with the weird cryptos or cryptography, or whatever you want to do with it. And we manage the login process to your app, and then you can manage the account from there. And then you get to control the user experience in the way you want in your app.
Mm-hmm.
Could be something we could look at.
Yeah, indeed, because that's indeed mechanisms for accessing your main ID. That's the most security risk level, of course, because everything comes underneath that. So we're really looking at ways to ensure that that's obviously not centralized, but if it's decentralized, how do you recover? But how do you also make sure that there's no breach? So
yeah, so we have one recovery mechanism at the moment. As you saw, Rebel was using a password to log in. You can change that password, and that password, unlike a private key, is memorable. So you can recover your account at any point. You can log out, which would delete all the keys from private keys from your device. You can log back in on another device just from your memory. And we've got the security guards in place to make that safe still. And then I showed you the visual prototype last week. So we do have some other sovereign recovery mechanisms planned as well, like social recovery and stuff like that. But right now, what's built is just the one recovery mechanism with the password.
Yeah, I think given the it's a really interesting challenge, but given the end user's responsibility for their recovery and identity, where password is too vulnerable. Even current two-factor authentication is too vulnerable. You delete it from the app and switch it off. There's so many. But this is kind of an enormous area of development that we need to go to. But even having a solution like yours as a first step is definitely an interesting thought for sure. I just have to say I really like your way of doing your sprint reviews as well. It's really clear and effective.
Thank you.
Can we now move on with the demo in the process? Is that possible? I would like to see, for example, as a stakeholder, how does the current issues that we have resolved this sprint align with our roadmap, for example?
You want to see the roadmap?
Yeah. So how are we doing that? How are we doing in that regard, and which features will we select for next sprint, for example?
So that's actually all in the next slides, Rebel.
This is the next sprint goal. It's focusing on showing all the features, what you do after you log in on the demo app, which are those 3 features, which is creating verifiable data, sign blockchain transaction, and sending peer-to-peer messages. Those 3, we are gonna focus on showing those features on the demo app in the next sprint goal.
Just a second. So, sign a transaction, the first part. Sorry, you're going a little bit too fast, and I'm having trouble following translating the
Okay.
technical to user needs. For the next sprint, could you say, for the variable, what will this enable us to do?
Create the VCs and verify them. Like, let's say a university app can issue a certificate, which is a VC, and then a student can verify, or not even a student, a job application or a company can verify that this person has really a certificate issued by the university, by that particular university.
All right. So it's for the
And
users. Yeah, sorry.
And it can also be a document. It doesn't have to be a data.
All right, and these two applications are already integrated with each other, or it's just to verify a piece of data on that application? So is this for verifying a record, say, for example?
For verifying data, there is
Yeah.
no need to connect apps together to verify data sent from one app to another. That's so if it's a VC, then you can always verify it, no matter where it is.
Okay. Isn't that way ahead of our roadmap already? Then, because so then we can log in, then we can also sign a piece of data already. Okay, that's quite okay. Okay, and that's one, and you wanted to do more, I hear. And sign
Yeah, we already built that, the technical aspect of it. Now we
Mhm.
just want to show and demo that inside our demo website. So
Right.
make it more
And also
demoable. And
the point is to, one, be able to show it visually, but also by building it in the demo app, we ensure that it's working and ready, and we'll have the documentation ready for it as well.
yes.
Okay. Very, very cool. Okay. And which user epic does this complete? Or can we show that?
I don't know if it's an epic per se. We have an epic called Finish the Demo. Your demo website shows all features just there. It won't be here in the roadmap. I haven't mapped it out here.
No.
If you go back to the epic list, it was the second one there, I think.
This is it. Right. It's this epic. Yeah, it's a demo website showing all features.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah. So, did you encounter major challenges this sprint?
Yes. I think Jack has encountered the most challenge, which was the error of verifying keys. Can you talk a bit about that, Jack?
Oh yeah, yeah. Just this bug that took 4.5 days in the end. It was just like a really stupid little bug where when we converted from a big integer, so that's a number that is bigger than 32 bits. So if you think of like the number 1 billion, you can actually represent that in 32 bytes. But if you think of like a billion, which is the numbers that are used in cryptography, you can't fit that into a byte. So you use a special extra library. And we were converting these numbers to a hex string, so hexadecimal format. And sometimes that hex string didn't have an extra 0 at the beginning of that string. And that would cause the conversion at the next stage of the process, which is part of the cryptography, to fail. So really, it was like the solution was like half a line to fix, but to go and find out where that was being caused cause deep in the cryptography took to bring off this, and then finding the fix, which also needed to be changed in the Decentralized Identity Foundation library. So we made a issue request to them, and they're going to fix their library as well for the same things, because we need some of their quintals for this part of the cryptography. I don't know, there was much to learn in terms of itself, but there's a long process of trial and error.
You're having a bad connection, Jack.
Oh. Chris,
All right,
you
that
got
was
a
me.
question?
Yes. Well, since talking about resolving this issue, I think it's very interesting also maybe for Lana to see, as she's new stakeholder, how that pull and issue request worked that enabled you to resolve this issue so quickly. Because I know that our development infrastructure, we have spent quite significant time on it. So just to show how your issue pull request and to really show the history of you resolving that issue. Could you show that? So you had
I'm not sure.
several
What do you want to see?
Yeah, well, you just said that you resolved it through looking and finding that one piece of code and then merging that issue onto our stack. Just that small process, that small step, the last part, I think it's very interesting to see how we actually deploy our code and resolve the issue.
You want to just see how
quick how we with the PRs and the GitHub.
Because maybe Rebel, do you want me to share this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not specific about
yeah, I mean, you could. Just that we're taking so much time. We still have the BD team, and
okay, we can also continue.
Yes, please. So just as I said, our next sprint goal is showing all the features on the demo website. After that, then we're gonna work more on security, documentation, and stability. And the next step is working on our other tool, which is Tonomy Participate. But we will see how it goes. Can we get feedback on priorities and direction? Maybe on the product vision and goals.
Okay, so I gave feedback in Discord, so I'll try to just repeat it. So the icon, the small, I think, change the icon of the application, so it's quite ugly, I suppose. When you log in on your phone, for example, on your phone, it looks like not the round, but as a square. And I think it would be great to have a normal owl logo, the round one. Another thing is the transaction is still not found. When you created the account, you click show me the transaction, right? Show me that the account was created, and it shows nothing, like a transaction not found. I think it will be a good change. When you create a password, when you log in on your phone, so on the Discord, you would see that password do not match. Doesn't allow another message. Remember your password for the future use. It's first of all, it's not aligned. Kind of, I think it should be in one line on the left, and second, it's overlapping, and we cannot see it from the create account button. If you can open maybe Discord feedback, so it might show.
Yeah, I saw it.
Mm-hmm. So the rest, so for the further, I think this is a MVP, right? So it means it's working. So as a external stakeholder, I would like to see a documentation how I can implement it, and like a step by steps, maybe on your website.
How can you implement the SSO or deploy a new Tonomy ID?
Deploy Tonomy ID into my website.
Okay, so if you see, we have inside the demo website,
Yes.
we already have like how to implement that code snippet on the right, but we also have docs dot
Can you show this, Rebel?
show what?
Show the demo side and how to get to the documentation.
Yes. This is the documentation. So inside the demo site, you can see on the right side the code snippet on how to do the login and other stuff, depending on the page you are
I don't
on.
know if it's just, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I can't see that.
Yeah,
only
I can
the
see either. Yeah.
slides.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
By the way, so I think it's best to have not on the Stagen website, right? Because I don't know how to get it. If I, let's say, downloaded your application or went to your official website, like Autonomy Foundation, I don't know where to get this stuff, right? So I need to know somehow that you have a Stagen Autonomy Foundation, right?
Yes, this is
Yeah, we should
this is
probably
for
add this
demo
as a link
purposes.
on our website.
Yes, this is for demo purposes and how to
Yeah.
implement it, but the real docs for developers are this page, which says a lot about the API we have, about the CLI we have, and the
Yeah,
SDK and how to implement it.
that's great. So can we have it on the website as well? On the autonomy.foundation, I mean.
Oh, of course.
Yes. Good idea. Yeah.
Any more questions? And feedback on priorities and direction of our product and product vision?
I think we need to pure the code better, right? So if we have bugs, it's or something, so I think we need to fix it before we go forward, because this is MVP, right? And we need to polish it a little bit, right? So to fix
Yes.
the current bugs, which I already mentioned, right? So, and we need to polish a little bit it and have a documentation on the website. And I think this is the most priority, in my opinion.
Just as I said, the next sprint goal is going to be showing all the features on the demo, but
Yeah.
then next we're going to be focusing on deployment, security, documentation, and stability.
Okay.
This is the sprint after that. Which
Okay,
then we will be checking bugs and focusing on that more.
Okay, then I agree with this kind of priority.
Any more feedback?
Not from my side, Chris, maybe, or Samin.
I think it's pretty cool, quite impressive. I would like to, but I don't know if that's a priority right now. But if I would like to test it for my company, I would need a bit more of a non-tech explanation, I would say, and a bit more like a way I could like try it out easily. I think maybe that's a nice goal to set also.
So something I've been thinking about is whether we should do right now we've set everything up as a staging environment, and that is a environment where us developers push to daily. So we have bug fixes and feature fixes and things like this. So it's not a stable environment. What we want to do, as soon as people out, it would be very worth making a a merge to our master branch and creating a stable testing environment, not a test environment for us developers, a test environment for externals. So if you were really ready to test this out, then I think it would be worth prioritizing and setting up a stable demo environment. So this already looks like a demo environment, but it's the internal demo environment because it's constantly having features push, which break things, and then we fix those things. Then we would, I think, immediately set up a stable test environment. So if that's your feedback, if you really want to do that, I think we would prioritize that this week. And then people could really try to integrate and not run into quite so many bugs.
Well, I think it's easier right now. Your version is working, right? For the tester demo, it's fine, right? So can we just some kind of fork it, not like to create something big, right? So just like the do bare minimum, so people can log in and test it.
It's not that hard to create a new environment. But this current one, it is working today, but today is sprint demo. So we do everything to make sure it's as stable as possible today.
Yes.
So tomorrow we start a new sprint. We're going to be working on new features, and they're going to break each other as we go along.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember the burn down chart at the very, the burn up chart. At the very end, we had a big spike. That was us fixing all of the bugs and making sure staging was fully finished and ready and stable today. So during the sprint week, this demo environment isn't so stable.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, so our
right there
lunch
that spike, that was putting everything.
Okay. Our launch days, it's 26, right? So, I mean, so if today the version is stable, so maybe we can fork the current one, right? So just to let it be stable.
That's what we'd probably do. Probably every sprint demo, we do a release to master, and at that point, leave that on for the sprint so people can try it out with all of these features.
Okay. Let's write it down.
So we could do that this sprint. We could make it a little sub goal. I think it's a good one. And I know, Samin, would you, in earnest, be willing to try this sprint?
What do you mean now exactly? To test it?
Yeah.
It depends. I have to think in which way it makes sense. Give me a second, yeah, to think about it.
Sure. If you have questions, now is a great time to ask them as well.
Chris?
Yes. So, talking from a non-technical perspective, do we have already a full flow ready to show how everything works, how it will work? Let's put it that way, from a design perspective, so that we can show that, and then other people can also still give feedback on that.
Yes, and maybe that's a nice thing to show. We have those 3 features there. They're not built, but they are fully designed. So we could show that design prototype now to show you what those features will look like on the demo. They'll look different on other applications, but on the demo, we just give
Milica, do you want to do this, or
maybe,
or should I?
Yeah.
I can do it if you want, and also it moved the current version is moved from here. So
then?
You can find it if you don't have the app, I guess.
No.
Okay, so maybe I can demo it if you would like.
Yes,
yeah. While you're getting that ready, thank you, Melissa. Lorna, it would be very interesting to see how you how this flow compares to what you have at Twins or what you have in mind at Twins, and to see how we differentiate from that already, to see how we can make that work together. So, be interested to hear.
Sure, yeah. Again, I don't want to interrupt in your regular sprint review. I was expecting to just come
this
and
is exactly what we're supposed to do. So
Okay.
you're a stakeholder just like me right now, and we're supposed to look at this from trying to implement this as much as possible and to give feedback on what we would like to see for the team.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean, for me, top line, obviously I'm just sort of digging into what you're doing, but you did intrigue me very much with the idea of this could be the, our kind of app login approach. I mean, obviously that's something that has to be the most secure of all. So that has already got me thinking like, for our next use case. The only other thing is that you are working in a very different way, as in it's still very much using the language, the technology world language, verified credentials, Web3, et cetera, and our approach is to completely remove that and actually build sort of mental model and language that is for totally non-technical people. It's not a criticism. It's just more a difference. So
yeah,
I think
exactly, which is where we can really come together, I would say. This is why it's very interesting to look at that. I should also note with it's not just a login; it also solves the interoperability issue by allowing it to function like a universal way to log into these kinds of systems.
Yeah,
and as a result, you can connect multiple of these systems together.
Mm-hmm.
It's also important.
This is why the VCs are so very important. It means that now you can share a bill of lading, for example, from one company to the next without those networks necessarily being in constant contact with each other. So it's two, for example, one company runs chain 1, one company runs chain 2. How do they move data from one system to the other? No, that's this way, for example. This is now what we can do. And we can verify these proofs on chain.
So secure transfer. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and you can check information from even. That's what Rebel just showed. You can check information from the system, even from outside of the system. You can verify that something is correct.
Interesting. Yeah, I should probably add that. So my key role is really building that bridge between the technology and the user perspective. So and it's super fun, but also super challenging to get your head out of that technical model into the user model. So I'm constantly sort of like hearing the technology capabilities and trying to translate that into a human model. So it's which is what it's been a huge challenge to come up with something that's incredibly simple. I think we've user tested with quite a range of people, and it was trying to bring SSI and decentralized identity to people, baby steps. So, but my sort of understanding, and I'd like to, look in the context of our developments of how to get a better framing of what you are actually doing, so what your capabilities are, because it's sort of clear, but it's not. I have a sense that there's more in there than I'm getting, which is cool. But that I think it's super intriguing, because I do think that there's a very interesting connect with what we're doing and what we have. So, but one of the things that we do as well, and I think this is where it could be really interesting, is very much use case driven, like really hardcore use case driven, as in never use the term SSI never use the term even decentralized, because that's just like, what does that mean?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah. Jack, you.
Jack,
So
you want to say
something that's good to note. So the Tonomy ID app, the mobile wallet that we created, doesn't have any of that technical terms in it at all. You won't know you're really on the blockchain. We don't use that word even. We don't know. You don't even know you're using verified credentials, which you are. The demo website is a different story. We use it there to showcase the technology. It's not an external app that we'll be selling. It's really just to show you and to give you some insight on some of the things happening. It's there a bit for external stakeholders that are not technical, but also for external stakeholders that are technical. You can see on the side the code snippet. That's to show the developer how easy it is to actually do this in their app. So it's a bit dual purpose. We have the lingo in the demo site. That's the only place we have that lingo.
Cool.
So the
And
user,
please
if we
don't
deploy this
take that as a
for you,
criticism.
your
by the
user
way.
wouldn't see it. No, and the other thing I was going to say, I think in this, what Melitza is about to show you gives you some examples of how you could use this in your application. That's actually part of the demo in these flows Melitza is going to show. And one of the things that Tonomy ID is, it's very general purpose. The smart wallet itself, so it's fairly use case generalized. The login part, the application that you log into, that's the use case specific part, and we give all the flexibility there to manage data, manage the key even in whatever way that use case needs. And we manage just the identity part. That's all we do in the smart wallet. So managing the login, managing recoverability, and then we give you the key and the ability to share data in your applications in a secure way.
And it's really interesting as well, the nuance, and it'd be great to maybe, I think we're going to try to do the meetup, but our model indeed is trying to remove that mindset of even logging in. You don't have an account anymore. So that's what I'm saying. It's like at the moment we're conditioned to these centralized account holders, whoever the business is that we're interacting with. We log in to a centralized mindset. I have an identity and I log in. What we're doing is removing that. Is I don't have to log in anymore. I've first of all connected, and of course there's an identity element in there, but we remove that completely in the mental model thinking. Is I've built up trust. I trust who I'm interacting with, and now I'm basically connecting on a service. That's it, and I don't need to log in anymore. But that said, we do in the first stage have a login, because you have to log into the app. That's the main did, and still thinking of, do we keep that login mentality because it's what we used to, or is there another way of thinking about accessing and securing and recovering your main identity? But what I really like with what you're doing is it maps really brilliantly with the current paradigm. So it's in a way better than what we're kind of moving one step ahead of actually trying to change the paradigm, ambitious as we are. That's
I want to ask a question if that's possible. Because I was thinking of how I could try it out now with my own company, but we mostly use right now third-party services, right, like Google and these kind of programs. Would it be possible to integrate it with these services as well, or does it need to be my own application that I created myself?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that. Yeah, you can have multiple authentication ways. You can use Tonomy, but also use Google at the same time. Well, it's not the way we want intend to be used, but yeah, that can be used. You can have multiple authentication ways.
Oh no, that was not really what I meant. But like, for example, we like have a lot of images that we use for our business, right? And we use Google Drive, right, to store that. Would it be possible to use Tonomy to log into that, and to go around that Google verification, or is that impossible?
Unless Google offers a service to log into Tonomy, we are not able to access Google properties. Like when you upload something to Google, it's not even your property anymore, it's Google property. And if Google doesn't integrate with Tonomy, then it's Google property. We can't access any of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so then to test it for my companies, I first have to create my own applications, I think.
You just need to integrate the login system with Tonomy ID, that's all. You can still use other services to save data. You can also, in the future, we're going to provide that. But for now, you can use Tonomy just for the secure login purpose and save the data from your backend side in Google. That's possible.
Something you could do, just brainstorming ideas here. I don't know what if this solves a problem that you would have or not, but you could kind of put images inside verifiable credentials and then go and store those on Google Drive. What that would mean is that if you send them somewhere else, they could verify them without having to go through your application system anymore. They could be independently moved around and still verified as coming from your system, just as an example.
Shall we look at the prototype?
Yes, please.
It's a good idea.
Everyone's ready?
Melitza.
Okay. So these are just the images. This is not the real thing. This is the homepage of our demo website, and its purpose is for potential clients or internal stakeholders to be acquainted with possibilities of Tonomy. So we have here presented three types of features. One is signing V3CVC, one is blockchain transaction signing, and one is signing peer-to-peer messages. And here we can see how that would look like by you can digitally sign anything like medical records or shipment records or whatever it is that you need safely signed and sent. This is just a prototype. This is just like a fake medical record that you can sign. And then you get a vision of two types of views of the verifiable credential signed. One is in B3C format and one is JWT format. In case that you want to have a second look at the document that you just signed, you can see it in the good old format that we all know. Next, so to verify it, you need to copy the credential and paste it, of course, and this is how you know that you have successfully signed a verifiable credential. The second feature is to sign a blockchain transaction, and here you have an NFT that you wish to buy, and that is it. You can see it. You can see what you just bought. Sorry, you can see the signed blockchain transaction on blockchain here, except this doesn't really work because this is just a presentation for presentation purposes. So nothing will happen if I click here. And the next option is that you have you can sign peer-to-peer messages. And you can, for this demonstration purposes, we have Danny, the demo bot, with whom you can chat. You can chat with all of your buddies in Tonomy ID app, and that is basically it. If there's any questions, if you want something repeated because maybe I didn't speak very clear, please let me know.
Yes. Is it possible to see the client-facing interface? So what will the user see? Can we see that demo? That's maybe not part of the sprint. That's maybe where the confusion is.
That is, so Melita just showed an example of an app you could create.
Yeah, but
which will be in the.
I mean the full flow of logging in with my phone, for example.
It is what a client showed live on the stage environment. Again, we can. A good idea. I don't know who wants to do this. I could do this. Is to explain maybe some of the, because these are just examples of the way to use these three features, but there's also a bit of a list of other examples. Explain what different clients could possibly do with these features once you're logged in. That's quite special. Don't know if you could go back to those design screens, Melita. Is the transaction signing. Sorry, this is examples for using the verified credentials.
Could you please repeat what would you like shown?
Something you could do. What we showed was signing a medical record.
You can also sign employment contracts, shipping and logistic events, payment metadata. You can also do votes and even tickets. Those are the options.
Event
Yes. Those are the options. This is just a mock-up of a fake website. This can represent anything absolutely that you can think of. As for signing in, I can only show you. Jack, would you like to answer that question?
Demo. So I'm not sure, like, what do you want more, or do you not remember?
I think I understand what Chris is trying to say. He's still thinking about the Tonomy ID app. At this stage, Chris, we have skipped the Tonomy ID app. Like, we have already logged in. This is an external app that used Tonomy ID to log in, and after that, it gets all these features that can be used after logging in to Tonomy.
Right. And what I want, yes.
After logging in, the external website is able to sign a transaction, sending a message to a Tonomy ID user, and also signing a VCF, a verifiable credential. So let's say you built an NFT, an external NFT market, and you use Tonomy ID to sign transaction. All you have to do is host those NFTs and let a user sign that NFT payload on the blockchain. And it will be just with one click without needing to verify that on the smart wallet or needing to log in again. It will be just one button.
So that's the flow I want. That's the flow I was talking about. From a user's perspective, how do they see the system? Right. So
they
I know that
see it just as a normal e-commerce website.
Exactly. So that's what I want to see. Laura asked, "This is too complex for many," or noted very correctly that this is too complex for many users to understand, which is something that I believe with Tonomy idea we have resolved, right? So I want to show, or I was hoping to see, let's put it that way, a user logging into the system and from a design perspective and doing one of these actions? And how does that look for the user? Not from the I'm going to implement it as a technical person. I'm only concerned with how does the user interact with the system, not with the developer side. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, the part
might
that
not be
Melissa just showed is emulating what the user would do. So when Melissa clicked the button, buy an NFT, that's what the user would be doing if this was an NFT marketplace.
Yeah, I understand what Chris wants. He wants a specific use case website that does one thing, like an
Maybe
NFT market or a chat app. But I would like to ask non-technical members, do they agree with Chris? Or
I
is the demo website a good
Yes.
solution?
Hi everyone. Before we proceed further, we have only 20 minutes left for this meeting, and even the BD team has to show their work. So if we can just, put our thoughts in a smaller sentences, that will be great.
Which I know the BD team's actually going to go on Thursday, so they're not going to be part of this.
Okay.
So do not
Um,
worry about that.
can I answer this? I think as a non-very technical person, I agree with Chris. For example, I was just thinking, I organize events, right, and we sell tickets, and I was thinking, okay, I could sell tickets here, but then if my customers would have to go through all this process, they would never do that. So I would never use it as for my company because it complicates the flow that my customers have, right? So if I would see right now just the tickets, for example, just how I could sell and scan a ticket, and it would look super easy and super clean, then I think I would rather consider using this whole system for my own company. So I agree with Chris, maybe having some specific use case related prototypes might be very helpful in selling the application to potential customers.
Could you be more specific and say, I wouldn't want my users to go through this process? When you say this process, what are you talking about there?
So for example, an event ticket would be a VC, right? So that they have to click through all the steps, copy the code, like that they have to
Right. So,
a bit,
so
you know.
again, the actual, none of the steps would be in your application. This was to kind of show that code like a regular event website, and you'd find an event and you'd click buy, and that would be it. Then it would come up with a message saying success, you bought it. All of the behind the scenes, what was actually in the demo, isn't part of your website.
Exactly.
That
So
was
I
to
want to
just
see
show what
the non-website version. I want to see the non-technical version.
Okay,
So Jack,
I
I
understand.
sorry, I understood that, of course, and it's nice that you show us everything that's possible and what's behind it. Like that's really cool to see. But yeah, like if I would now be a customer, then I would also like to see the very simple solution, right, for me, with the specific use case.
Yeah.
So I think that might
I
be
get it.
helpful to have these specific cases and have also a prototype for that, and then you can sell it based on that to specific target groups. But that's just honest feedback. I don't think anything here is not good or something, you know.
Can we have voting to see how many people agree on this?
Well, I think we already have the feature to log into the system, right? And while you logged in, you can do it on your website. So this is like the main feature, right? So if we created another feature, like I don't know, sign the blockchain transaction, it will be more complicated stuff at the moment. So it means we would create our own ecosystem where we would be able to sign those transactions, right? So basically, I don't think it's necessary to do right now. And for us, it's logging in. So this is what we presented, I guess. So we logged into external website, right? And on this website, we can basically do what we want.
Can I maybe add a little thought here as well, just hearing the conversation? It's super interesting. May I?
Of course.
Just what one little thing just does jump out is that you're obviously offering an alternative, and you have a value proposition to both the business but also to their customer. Now, on the one hand, you want it to be as seamless and smooth as possible, as customers not maybe aware. But then the question is, why would they use this solution? What are you bringing, and how is that being understood by the user? Now, one of the things I think you have very, very similar to what we're doing, it's about building trust. So it's almost in that flow that needs to also come across. This is one of the biggest challenges we had. How does that user from those very steps, whilst they're doing something as simple as, in their mind logging in, at the same time thinks, hey, I'm doing it differently. I'm either not being tracked, or it's super secure, or it's within Europe, or whatever the value proposition, doesn't really matter. But it's not Google, it's not Facebook. Yay! That's almost in the flow of the interface, in the interaction, sort of pop up and come out, so that I trust this interaction. I trust this provider because they've given me this option. And of course, once it's more established, you don't even need it. You just have that icon, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to use Tonomy rather than. But in the first stages, it's that challenge of seamless, minimal clicks, but still getting that mental model of like, I'm in control. They're not scraping my data. I'm anonymous. I'm whatever. I think that's more maybe just a thought, not seeing what you have, but just hearing your discussion.
Yes, it's only by being asking these hard questions and kind of pushing each other a little bit that we get the best results. And so to give insights from all angles, everything is being noted that you're saying as well. So this gives us a real insight on what to do together. And this prototyping, I think, especially from a flow and design perspective, I think is very important, and something that maybe Twins also has more insight into. That's yeah. Okay, I don't want to. I think we have discussed this point a little bit too much already. Let's continue, shall we? Next point.
Rel, you want to go back to the slides? I think we're almost at the end anyway. Rebel, you there? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was
I
muted.
honestly think
Sorry.
that's the end.
No, we wanted to talk about the direct values task we did. This sprint, one main one you did was fixing the node failure on Telos testnets. Telos UK is one of our clients, which is a block producer, and we had to fix the testnet node for them. Actually, Jack did. I gave credit to him. And the other one are enablers, which give indirect values to the company. We have fixed multiple navigation flows. It's now simplified, which make it less code and easier to understand. So in the future, we can integrate multiple pages easily and faster. So that's the value we're getting. Type checking, we have added that to our demo and Tonomy ID, which will allow us to catch bugs quicker. And we have had Scrum workshop, which will result in better teamwork collaboration. This we're gonna discuss maybe in a retro, like issues and blocker and the help needed from management, instead of doing that in a demo. And that's all, I think. Do we have questions, more feedback, maybe?
I just wanted to say that I like this way of reviewing a lot and also of feedback, because I'm quite new, right? I'm not used to it that much. But it seems very nice, and that everyone is open and talks about everything. So it's cool to see. Just wanted to mention it.
Thank you.